the bus.
What's good people? As we get near the finale of the BMF documentary, Blowing Money Fast. This time we're jumping in for episode 7, Thunderstorms in the Forecast. And yeah, I mentioned we coming near the finale because it's a lot that's about to go down here at Big O Bell Media because we're going to cover episode 7 tonight. Next week we got the finale was episode 8. Starz will not be doing that, that same night drop with the finale, then the premiere, because the holidays, Christmas and all those other sorts of holidays that people celebrate, and New Year's and all that other good stuff. Because BMF season 2 is coming in January, which we got some stuff kind of brewing. Actually, I can say some stuff. We got a lot of stuff coming for BMF season 2. I'm also kind of nervous myself. Got a lot of stuff going on with that. And then if you haven't heard, BMF is going to be dropping on Fridays. And me and Lucas haven't had the chance to talk about it, so I guess we could talk about it right now on air. This is not unfamiliar for them to do a Friday drop. They've done it recently with Step Up 3, which I don't know if you like it or not, but it doesn't matter. But it's telling you that there seems to be a change within Starz. Besides the branding, you see the new colors and graphics and all the other sorts of stuff they're using, but maybe there's a little bit of change in things kind of going on here. But also, they've also done this with what did we just watch? This dropped on Friday as well, the first episode, and then we shifted to Sunday. I think so. Yeah, I don't know. It's confusing.
Ain't like we stayed up to watch the first episode. I wouldn't know.
but anyway, y'all can fact check that, but I'm pretty sure it was this and Step Up 3. For sure, Step Up 3. But a change of things. So I'm not sure if they're going to stick to Friday nights or if they're just going to have to premiere Friday and then shift back to Sunday. So
they're trying to take over the weekend, Joe. That's what it is.
Little friend of mine had said the same thing, and I was like, I think you might be right there, sir. That friend of mine I will reveal very soon because that person will need to show face here on the channel very soon. But I'm excited for all things BMF. This documentary docuseries has been amazing. This episode we got a lot to talk about. The finale, I cannot wait to see what they got. And then, as I said, all roads lead to BMF season 2. And as I said, there is a lot coming up for coverage with that. So hopefully you all are along for the ride. Lucas, for whatever reason, folks want you to catch a charge. So,
man, listen, I don't know why. I don't know what is people's obsession of me, as they call it. Just admit to everything. Y'all worse than the cops on this show, man. Oh man, God. I can't believe. I'm gonna need some of y'all. Okay, we are watching a show full of snitches. Do you think anyone's gonna get on here and snitch on themselves? Come on, man. Come on.
Hey, man. We got some. Yeah, I love y'all. Y'all are funny. I swear I look at my phone much more than I need to daily because I just be in for the comments and the foolery that you all have. But there was something I did want to mention that was constructive, and that's merch. Stay tuned. We'll have something more wearable for you come 2023. I got some stuff there now, but I want something that you can rock on a daily basis that doesn't look like you just advertising for me, that you're actually looking like something you can wear and just be chill with it. That's how I feel about merch.
Walking up to you say, "Oh, clearly you work for Big Gold Belt, because why would you have on that type of merch?"
Listen, I don't want BMF merch, and I'm talking about the BMF merch that we seen them wearing back in 2005. I don't want that. I want the cool BMF
BGB merch.
Yeah,
BGB merch. That's what you say.
I want
they want merch with me selling a bag as a picture on the front of the shirt. That's what they want. They're gonna have me like Franklin on the cover of a shirt full of cocaine or something. Come on, man.
I want the cool BMF. And matter of fact, all the power, Power Force gear was tight. The BMF season 2, their jackets they got, that shit's tight. I want something like that.
What's our guy from Tommy? I don't know why his name is slipping my mind right now. With the shirt.
What character?
Oh man. He died in the shootout. We interviewed him. He had the shirts.
Yeah.
Dope as shit.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I've been Charge it to my alcohol, not my heart. I can't remember the name right now.
Yeah. As Simon, his character, it's slipping out of my head, but yeah, I got it. We'll come to me in a second. Yeah. Nah, for sure. Like, I definitely want some dope gear that, like, on a daily that I can just like, yeah, I can rock that. Like, I just don't want, like, again, I don't want that
and shit on shirts, Joe. Things that we say all the time on here.
Yeah, I got Phil Donlin. Here we go.
There we go.
Yeah,
that's how I got there, Joe.
Yeah. Anyway, let's jump into tonight's episode, Thunderstorms in the forecast. And frankly, my biggest question before we actually get into like the specifics of this is how the hell and why the hell don't we have like Jeezy interview elements to this? If you can get T.I. just randomly jumping in there throwing
that's why it's T.I. and not someone who's kind of affiliated with BMF. We're gonna keep T.I. on here.
I mean,
T.I. was his own little thing in ATL. You ain't gonna have Jeezy on here talking about nothing. Jeezy's a family man now. He got a baby. He got a wife.
There was so much Jeezy content it is that, like, if you didn't know now by 7 episodes that he was tight knit with Meech, this episode definitely sealed the deal for you here. And I think that like if you can have Yogi having as much interview time as she does, everybody else can also get in there. And I think Jeezy definitely can be in there giving a little bit of a character witness. I mean, it would help, obviously.
Jeezy's a changed man. He's like, yeah, Jeezy don't even say yeah anymore, Joe. He like, nah. Even though his last album, Snowfall, check that joint out, because that joint is a problem. But Jeezy's like, yeah, that's not me no more.
How much was he getting it for again? And who was he getting it for again?
17.5. That's what he said?
Yeah.
Mr. 17.5? Yeah. Okay, yeah.
I think the math was mathing on that one.
hey, look. It's much better than Frank. I mean, it's realer than Franklin getting it for 10. But hey, it happens. It happened two different time periods, man. We put Jeezy 17.5 up there with Jay-Z's 92 bricks. Like, it's in the same category to me, Joe.
Yep.
It ain't talked about because it's fake. That's all I'm saying.
So I'm about to say Jeezy. So Meech and Yogi, they leave Atlanta and they never look back. Now they on the run and like things are getting real to them. And you know, they find home in Miami, because where else do everybody from Atlanta go? Miami. And
everybody go Miami.
Yeah, and this is January 2005 now, but you know, Yogi started to talk about the surrealism and everything. Like, things are getting real. She is talking about sort of the emotions that she's experiencing, like, you know, just the paranoia, like kind of, you know, the sickness and sort of the depression and anxiety that she's experiencing. I mean, this is all real things, because you literally just had to leave everything that you had back on the run. You showing your loyalty, and that's, you know, that's a thing, but like your life is changing. And yeah, a lot of people looked at Miami as like this, you know, this very vacationist location, but like for you, like this is a sort of a tactic to lay low. You can't even experience Miami the way you typically could, because you don't need to be seen. You don't need to be out there. I mean, she got it. she got it. And I do love the commentary that you can't fall in love with anything in the drug game. I mean, I don't know if I've heard that line in any bit of lyrics, but like, damn if that ain't true. Just straight up, like, you can't fall in love with anything, because at any given point, all of it could be left behind. That car, the clothes, the jewelry, all of that could just be gone. The lifestyle itself could be gone, because that's where I went with it when I heard it. It was just like, one moment you're on the top of the throne, the next moment you ain't got nothing to your name, and so you can't be in love with it, because it's all temporary, sort of temporary emotions. And you know, Meech even said it on the call that, you know, it's part of the territory. You know, this is the lifestyle that you signed up for, so this is what comes with it. But as I mentioned, as they're in Miami just chilling, you know, because if you're on the run, if you're laying low, You
what
know,
else is it to not have a club night?
yeah, exactly what you're supposed to do. You know, these all these other drug lords that they inspired were inspired by. You know, when they got low, they went to caves and tunnels. You never seen them, and I get it, and I get it
You
that like
never seen them living it big.
nah, they didn't say I'm on the run,
Oh man,
so I need to be visible. And like, it's just wild that through all of the Meech testimony and interviews and just narration in this, that he never ever admitted to his obsession with the club. Now he did say he was addicted to the money and the lifestyle, but he never ever but see, like, that's a play on words there. It's just something people say.
Man.
He has never held accountability that a lot of this went down because my man cannot stay out of the spotlight. Period. It was a supreme addiction. Say, hey sir, you know you just left everything in Atlanta, right? So we're in Miami because we're trying to be off the grid, like off the radar. No problem. Yeah, we're cool. So Crowbar Sunday, bet. Oh no, not only that, we're gonna promote it because I gotta promote my brand. Why not? And we're gonna turn that joint out.
You giving me what is that? 100% of the door?
Yep, 10% bar, 100% of the door. I mean, this the most money they had come in, but
you don't think I'm gonna promote? I'm gonna be on this show. Hey, Eric Crowbar Sunday. Y'all here for BMF? Like we gonna get it up. Like, hey, it again, it just shows the addiction that comes along with attention.
Yeah.
Attention is very addictive. See, right now, you know, this is 2005, so I think back then we understood it, but 2022, we have social media apps that show us just how addictive attention is. We got people doing idiot things on TikTok or Instagram because it gets more attention, it gets more views. Here, Meech is just, it's the tension it seems like he's craving here. That the need to be the man and not behind the scenes man. I need to be the guy. And that could come from just upbringing. If you grew up, you know, I'm not gonna say poor, but disenfranchised. I'm gonna use that as a word. I like that word right there. And you're accustomed not having nothing, and you're accustomed to people looking over you. Man, when you get a little bit of attention,
oh yeah,
that's it. Like it becomes the drug that people accuse him of selling. You see, I said that. It became the drug that people accused him of selling. And he constantly had to feed it. And that's hitting the clubs every night, even going on a run and getting a club night. Like that's ridiculous. But again, it's the attention that he needed.
Yeah. To me, you know, and there was, you know, small little tidbits in this episode about like, why did you never stop? You know, if you love the party scene, why didn't you go full blown into the club and the promotion scene? You know, and again, you know, we talked about in the previous episodes about trappers want to be rappers want to be athletes want to be trappers. This little triad of folks wanting to be something that they were not given talents to do so. And listen, I'm not saying that God makes drug dealers, but I'm saying that God do give people. Yeah, exactly. and people, mathematicians, scientists, all those sorts of things. You know what I mean? Yep. Mm-hmm. But it's the idea that like it was that crave of not only that spotlight and that attention, but it was that fantasy of who they wanted to become. He wanted to be that big music mogul, although Blue Da Vinci wasn't doing nothing but being a godfather to Lil Meech.
Yep. Yeah, we don't talk about Blue Da Vinci. There's literally no need to talk about his hip hop career. We can talk about anything else with him but hip hop.
It's just odd to me because there was no proactiveness in actually solidifying it being a legit record label. Like sign somebody, sign a Gucci, a Jeezy, a Gucci, or anybody. Atlanta was a gold mine, sir. Yeah, just one person.
You could have signed so many people at that time period. But I mean, it was a business that was operated as a front business, and they just decided, hey, we don't need to do much past that. Meech has parallels with someone who I never would have thought when you see the correlation between them two. Meech reminds me of Ric Flair. a lot.
Oh yeah.
From Ric Flair just being a wrestler and then craving the attention. And if you ever go back and hear Ric's story of the things he did for attention, that personality he put out there to the world, he had to become that personality. That's what it feels like with Meech. Like, I put this personality out there to the world, and because the world believes I'm this person, I have to be this person. But later on in it, when we see his best friend talking, he's like, the world sees him one way, but he come back home and like he's eating vanilla wafers on the porch with my dog. Like he's just Meech. But it's the spotlight, it's the attention, it's that the man mentality kicks in and he becomes the larger than life character that is Big Meech instead of Demetrius.
Yeah, it's, you know, to talk about Ric Flair a little bit, because, you know, when you're a wrestler, you're playing these larger than life characters, and these characters, these gimmicks are something that makes you a lot of money on the road. And you know, people involved in Ric Flair's life, his kids, his ex-spouses and girlfriends and all that, said that Ric Flair never stayed in the square circle. Ric Flair came home every single night. He was absent to his kids because he was his character all the time. And yeah, Meech was definitely present with his son. And his girlfriend always said that, you know, he was completely a present dad. But it's to say that he was never ever to be able to differentiate this Big Meech gimmick, sort of say, that sort of got him in a lot of this really critical trouble in these pivotal trouble and critical times. Because the times in Miami where you need to lay low, Big Meech should have not been there. Should have been Meech. It should have been low key. And it seems like he wanted to be Meech when he was in Texas, because he was kind of like, oh, what would Cosby doing here, sir? Because everywhere you going, they come in the subdivision.
Like, I mean, you there? Why wouldn't they be there? Like,
I just find it odd that, like, there was never no investment into, if you want to be Big Meech and that's your lifestyle, it's the gimmick. I ain't going to say it's the character because it is lifestyle, but yeah, you are just persona of something that everyone looks up to. You know, he walks into a club, sales go up because everybody wants to be Big Meech. You know, when you see him, you see money, you see his crew, you know, you see the jury, you see the ballers, you see the women, you see all these sorts of different things. And yeah, you're a family guy at heart. Obviously, you still got a lot of love for your mom and your mom. And your childhood friends and whatnot, the dogs and all that. So like, yeah, there's humanity inside of you, and you're not a violent person. That's never been something attached to your name. And frankly, they've never really been able to attach you to drugs. You just kind of ran an empire. It's odd that they never threw out the word kingpin at him at all. I'm just very curious why that's not a thing. I mean,
it's odd. It took one man getting caught up on charges, and then magically he can say, hey, I know this guy, and then he gets arrested. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the one guy that was like, oh, I can now pin him with drugs because that one guy said it?
Hey, they went from saying, and then we had to get this middleman to high guy, and he tells us he gets pinched, and then all of a sudden, you know, he tells us he buys his drugs straight from Big Meech. So now we have this higher person in their organization. I said, wait. We just went from him being a middleman to high in the organization that fast because it made your case sound better. Like,
for sure. For sure.
I just need to see. I know the doc won't go into it. At this point, I want to look up the evidence that they got from these informants because it's not making sense. As they say, the math ain't mathing here. How is it that he's even in prison if this is all you have? It kind of brings questions to a lot of stuff.
I mean, I'm gonna talk about 1 second, but I just want to end by my last statement saying I just do not understand, as a person who wants to be so involved with the music scene and the club scene and the hip hop scene, hip hop culture and all this other stuff, how you never made any bit of investment into actually solidifying a legitimate brand. Promoting at the club is certainly an aspect of it, but you got to have an artist, bro. Just one. You were in Atlanta, you was in Miami, Detroit, and you could have even molded somebody on your team to be one. I mean, Blue Da Vinci is a failed name, but
think about it though. At what point is it that he really cared about being part of an industry? or is it that it was the lifestyle he wanted?
100%.
That's what the correlation to me became with Ric Flair. It's the lifestyle, the styling and profiling. That's what he wanted. I don't think it had anything to do with necessarily the music business, because you can't tell me like Meech wanted to be in the music business and then Blue Da Vinci is the only aspect of you being in the music business when you had connections to other people in the music business. I think it was just the lifestyle. He loved the lifestyle.
Yeah,
it got to the point where he started to crave the lifestyle. So I think it's just a lifestyle thing. I don't think that was his interest. Club promoting definitely wasn't his interest. He was addicted to going to the clubs at that point. Yeah. And someone told him, I'll give you money to show up. Cool. I got you.
Yeah.
Damn it, if I told a crackhead I'll give you money to smoke crack, you think that means they all of a sudden want to sell crack? Nah, it's the addiction that kicks in. And I think it was just an addiction for Meech. It's the attention that he loves. He craves it. Yeah. Because it make him feel bigger than life. Yeah. And that's a hell of a feeling to get. And I don't think anyone, and then we'll go to the next subject right and finish this. That's why I at times I want to blame him for some of the things, and then other times I'm like, nah. Like, that bigger than life, I don't fully understand what it feels to be bigger than life. And if it's something I'm gonna be able to handle. Like, we're at a time frame where we're seeing people who are bigger than life and we seeing them fall over and over and over again, because it's an addiction and it's so hard to control, because once you achieve it, you can't believe you got there, and then you're doing everything in the world to hold on to it.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned, so like he's been a part of this lifestyle from the age of 14 to about 37. So like this is all he knew, and like you come from a system that oppresses Black people from any bit of success, wealth, or opportunity, and the fact that he is sort of self-made, it's hard to look back. So listen, I'm not telling this guy to go open a savings account here, but I mean, like, heed the warnings around you. Like, you had to get out of Dodge and left everything, and now it's you're very much aware that other folks got when you left. So like, hey sir, it's time for you to maybe sit back and reevaluate and kind of strategically make your next move. You're better, but you made the move about you mentioned about like maybe you can leave the country. I don't also think that still wasn't an opportunity if you had to just took a little bit of time to just, I don't know, resource around.
Brazil.
Yeah, just not Brazil. Yeah.
There's plenty of other places that
especially in Miami.
Plenty of places you can
in Miami.
Plenty of places you can go. Exactly. Where they will not extradite you.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think that was Meech thing.
Nah.
That was other people's thing, and organization. They were like trying to find places. Meech was perfectly fine where he was at. Because also keep in mind at this time, there is no connection to Meech ever handling any business.
Yeah.
So he's really thinking, I'm scot-free anyway. Yeah, I don't handle business. I don't do something. All of a sudden, you got this again. I'm sorry if I'm just blaming the informant, because I am confused. How this one dude says, Nick, did I purposely walk up to you and sell you drugs? Or did you get it through somebody else and you're trying to blame me for it? Because other than that, they constantly said, we can't connect Meech to anything.
Yeah.
So he's thinking in his head, like, I'm untouchable. What are y'all coming to me for? What did I do?
See, that statement, I just don't believe, because I feel like he's so oblivious and distracted, shall I say, with everything that's happening. He doesn't even realize that they actually don't have you connected to the drug. I think, on the contrary, he's thinking like, oh, they see I'm making money because of my record labels. I mean, look how I'm in the club and all this other stuff.
I don't think nobody thought that.
But listen, let's keep it a buck now. For all the folks who go to the club and get and pop a few bottles, all of a sudden they think all of a sudden their bank account got a lot bigger than it was before they got there, because
that's the addiction though, right there.
They think they're gonna walk outside to their Maybach being in VIP in the VIP parking lot, and instead, no, they're gonna walk to their Hyundai, and then it's gonna be a wrap, because that lifestyle definitely have you feeling like you are somebody that you're not. So I don't know. I would have loved to have heard Meech connect some of the dots here. I would have loved to hear him exactly at this point state that, like, I felt like I was untouchable because I was doing good. It appeared that I was doing good.
Episode.
Maybe
him saying about the Texas thing and him questioning, Why y'all here in the subdivision? Because again, I think it's because he's still thinking, you can't connect me to anything.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, one thing they did say about the organizational chart is he had so many people between him and anyone else. So again, where's the connection to me? That's what they're gonna reveal in the next episode. You got to reveal the connection to him.
Yeah, because going to Amari now, who was running the side business that Meech didn't know about. You know, he was a high-level soldier, she said, and he was the one who connected Meech to the dope. Okay, folks. Well, let's also so I saw somebody in the comments say that Amari wasn't the one that was driving a car. So from the last episode, I didn't go back and check that, but I still have two major questions, because I thought that Amari is the one that is doing a lot of the dealing. So whether he was the one in the car or whether he was the one that got the call from the person in the car, he's one of those two guys for sure.
He was the one who got the call from. I thought he was the one that got the call from the person in the car.
Okay, either way, but two people interest, because now the idea is that, oh, this person that got let go, got all the dope taken, got let go. This hasn't been addressed. But obviously, this happens to be Amari now is now considered the first one to be snitching, who has turned fed, witnessed for the government, that's laying out the whole organization. So to me, I have a few questions here, because the whole idea was just like, oh, we know that if he doesn't come out, well, everybody know this, he doesn't come out with the product, then this guy should be offed, right? But he's alive because he's turned fed, and he's now considered a valuable asset to the government, but that doesn't make him untouchable. He still got to be out in these streets, but nothing has happened to him. To go back to last episode, I'm still very curious about this hit. If anybody was to be hit, to be a hit on right now, it should be this snitching, double crossing, dope losing. But by the way, they lose the dope, but also they got a side business that Meech doesn't know about. So where really did that dope go? I'm just
I got right now. I have so many questions about all of this that doesn't make sense to me. But hey, if you're going to push the agenda, and I'm going to call it an agenda at this point, that this guy, even though in a prior episode you said they did their business through Yogi, so again, where do we get to the point where he's getting anything directly from Meech? You got to explain this a little bit better. But and I'm pretty sure they will in the last episode really get into more details, because they have to at this point. But again, it's once you're pinched on anything and you decide to flip, it's so much stuff you have to give them for them to even believe you normally. But here we understand the cops want Meech at all costs. So it's almost like they'll believe anything. They don't care, because you're pointing them to the man that they want. That's all I'm getting off of this, is that you're pointing them to the man that they want. So it could have been someone who never saw Meech before, but if he said the name, they would have went along with it.
Yeah, exactly. They just needed anything at this point. I mean, it seems like they had about 98% of all the stuff they needed to bring Meech in, but they just needed something to put in front of the judge to get the warrant to make it make sense. Because the judge's gonna say, you don't have anything on him. Sure, he could be rich and do all this other stuff. Doesn't make him a criminal. This guy that works with him, that we can prove work with him by phone call records, says he gets it from him. It's like, all right, push it through. And thus, now they can go after Meech in the way they need.
Affidavit comes out, and then we could go after everybody. I love the point that they pointed out that, they wanted to hit somebody, but they didn't want to hit. They wanted to hit someone big on something else, so they didn't have to unseal the affidavit that would tell everybody what they were doing. And then you catch Terry at an illegal poker game, technically.
Yeah.
Again, I gotta love the feds. Gotta love them.
Gotta love them, because at this point, man,
but I swear, you may be missing some dots, but they still managed to connect them somehow, some way.
I tell you what, there's some ghost lines not on that board that they got up there. They got them nice big yawn red lines that make it seem like that's how it all worked out. There's some invisible clear ones that they're fabricating up there.
Exactly. And we got my man Doc looking like Bobby Shmurda up there. I'm like, wait a minute, that don't sound right. No,
my man
ain't snitching. What's going on here?
My man Doc got off the plane. They were just like, "Oh, he just gave himself up, man. He already knew what it was, man." Like, I don't know.
This is why you can't. You understand? Hey, this sounds messed up, but the trust amongst the black community has been eroded by brothers snitching on drug dealers. Let y'all in the black community. That's why you don't trust people. You're like, no, if you're willing to snitch on Meech or insert drug dealer name here, if you're willing to snitch on them, you'll snitch on anybody. Joe.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And that's the thing. That's why, like, when you look at his baby mom, Latar, basically talking about, like, she couldn't believe that people were snitching. Call it what you want, but she was hurt, man. She was definitely hurt at the time she knew about it, but you can tell that still bothered her in the time of this interview, because it's just like, yeah, I get the whole, like, reading down the script of like, oh, I had this person in my head, in my house. I had them, laying in one of my spare beds. They were around my kids. I get it. People say that stuff all the time. But like the idea, they said like, no, these were Meech's friends. He never did anything wrong. You can say what you want about this guy, but there's not a bad thing that anybody can say about him. He took care of everybody around him. You never heard stuff of this besides him wanting to stunt and one up his brother, but that's the sibling rivalry right there. But everybody else had stuff to say positive. Like, listen, he came to the clubs, the club sales went up. They loved doing business with him. He had all these folks around him. They all had a good time. Folks who normally wouldn't be able to get into the club went first in the club before he went in.
Or
so like
him basically saying, when they told him, Meech, you can get away, and he said, where would that leave y'all? Do you understand? Like, he's someone who valued loyalty, and I think it probably hurts more than anything when you realize people, and it's a hard truth to come when you realize people don't value loyalty the same way you do. And I think that's what hurt his baby mother, is that, because again, you hear it in her voice. We said these are people that was in my house. These are people that were around my son. Like, how can you be around his child and then turn around and do what you did? But again, as I said, and Meech said it himself, like, we'll see what happens when the rubber meets the road. We'll see how you act. Everybody cool until them years get put in front of you.
Yeah, when they come through the door, how you gonna act? Yeah,
exactly.
It's I mean, and you could imagine how much time Meech has had behind bars thinking about this. Like, man, I really held blah 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 down, and like, I can't even believe, like, he's sitting there trying to make these invisible connections himself. Like, where did I go wrong with this person? Like, I got them this, I got that. Like,
some people they're not built for that type of life. That's all it is. And loyalty ain't high on their priority list, because again,
if it was ever there,
and I know a lot of people would love to say, man, I would have stayed down. Somebody put 20, 30, 40, some of y'all 5, 3 years in front of you. What are you gonna do? Yeah, because I went real big and then I had to realize, it's some people, if they told you 18 months, you giving up everything. Like, you can't, like, I understand though. I understand some people aren't made to live in that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And again, it's hard when you think everyone's going to be down for you. You think everyone's going to hold you down the way you hold them down. And then the disappointment kicks in when you realize that was never the case.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, to kind of wrap some of this stuff up for tonight, we did get some time with Lil Meech. Lil Meech had a BMF party at the age of 3. Good for him. Also, he was out here in these streets at the age of 3 and 4 with his father, just straight up in the club doing all these big time BMF things. So he really
so much stuff, right?
Yeah, it does, definitely, right. Uncle Blue, that's it. That's the statement, Uncle Blue. But the last little thing is to kind of understand just how much effect BMF had, because when they talked about wanting to bring them in, there was a little bit of an issue. It's always issues with jurisdictions and whatnot, typically, between FBI or state and city, it depends on what it is. It's always those sorts of different things. DEA, who has jurisdiction on what's happening here.
Yeah.
But the fact that they were trying to bring everybody down, and they were in different states, different major cities, It was a lot of like, it was a little bit of a logistical nightmare for the feds to kind of figure this all out. But yeah, 2005, Meech went back to Detroit to see his mom. It made it seem like it was all good or whatever. And we got to hear from his sister basically saying like, her whole thing in life was she continuously felt like she had to prove that she was different from her brothers, and that was sort of her legacy, is to not be them. So like it was this expectation of big shoes to fill of just not being them. But then Terry in Missouri randomly, wonder how he got to Cali, Vegas to Missouri. Guess he came home too. Hey, everybody got to come home.
Little game, little poker game.
$6 million in the house. Not nothing unnormal here.
Nothing too big.
Yeah, just chill night. Chill night with the homies.
There you go. Everybody had those mad parties before.
Yeah.
When you threw a couple thousand on the table, not 7 figures, maybe five figures for some people, and you threw them jokes on the table because nigga, I could beat you in the game. It's all a game. But again, it was just enough for the feds, because again, stuff like that, it's hard for like it to compute to a lot of people just how illegal it is to be put in that situation, because you're thinking I'm just with people who I'm cool with, or in this is a house party, we just having fun playing cards. You're not thinking like they're gonna bust in here and arrest me and then use these as charges to get me. Like it doesn't compute to a lot of people that way.
Not at all.
That's why, hey, you go to somebody's house and they playing spades for money, I'm leaving. I'll see y'all later.
So he gets got in Missouri, Yogi and Latar are in Miami, and Meech is in Texas subdivision, and looks like the fans are on his doors, and that's it for the episode. So we're gonna have to see how that all plays out in the finale in episode 8. I'm still wishful thinking that and hoping that maybe we'll get something from Terry in the last episode. I know a lot of people saying he declined to do it, but that doesn't mean anything to that John Air, because a lot of people say I would never take that role. I would never return to that franchise. And well, there you go.
Maybe I gotta get a little bit off my chest about what happened. Never know. We never know. Never know.
And even that,
either way, this is still a great docuseries so far.
Yeah.
One, it's showing something that I think is highly important that a lot of people need to see, because we only hear through music, arts, at times we only hear the positive parts of being in this lifestyle. At least this one is attempting to also show you like some of the negative parts of it. It's a reason why every movie with a gangster drug dealer, it never ends positively. Besides Ben Affleck in A Town, no one ever gets away with anything in these type of films. It's for a reason why, because in real life it doesn't happen that often. Because it's always an Amari. I don't care what happens. It's always one.
Listen, the Torettos, they always have a happy ending. I mean, they're not drug dealers, but they definitely are heist gangsters.
Yeah, but they heist gangsters that work with a cop. Like it doesn't make sense. And family over everything.
That's what's wrong with these black folks, man. They need to consume more Coronas. They'll be good to go. They wouldn't even have a lot of these issues.
If Vin Diesel was part of BMF, I'm telling you, nothing bad would have ever happened, Joe. Meech would have forever been straight, because Vin will hold it down. Family.
Guarantee this footage of Vin Diesel with family and the BMF and the F in BMF is for family.
Exactly.
The Torettos. Oh man. Anyway, man, that's a lot of Joker for tonight. I hope y'all had fun. Listen, we're back for the finale, episode 8 next week. A lot more BMF, not just the documentary, but all things BMF content coming. I'm very excited and nervous at the same time. So stick around. Drop in the comments, folks. Let us know your thoughts about tonight's episode. Let us know how much more detail y'all want to know about Lucas' life so we can get him indicted by episode 8. We got a week to go for that.
Because if somebody come knocking on my door at this point in time, I don't know what you're talking about.
Turn your location off, sir. They're gonna try to find you.
I'm not trying to be Ric Flair out this joint. I'm trying to be Coco Beware. You're gonna forget all about me. Keep it moving.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, folks, thank y'all so much for tuning in. We'll see y'all back next week for the finale.
bell bell.